Good morning,
Hello.
everyone, and welcome. And Tanya has on her shirt with bricks on it.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. That's pretty cool, though. We should do one like this.
It looks kind of cool.
Oh wow, we've never seen it like that before.
Yeah.
We should just do a shirt with bricks on it.
Yeah,
I wonder if it would turn green.
I like that. We'll try that next time.
Mind blown.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes, and
The
our
last
good friend
time I was
Tanya.
here, we had the mayor in.
Oh yeah, and I
You were
wasn't
on
here.
vacay.
Yeah,
Jealous.
it's okay.
Did you have a good time?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I need a vacation.
Yeah, it was good. All good. We went to Key Largo. Never
not
been
been-
there before.
Is it a return location?
Oh yeah, I definitely.
Good.
Yeah. I'm all about like if there's good restaurants there, I'm like, yeah. And a pool and an ocean, I'm good.
Anything that is not work related would be great.
Yeah,
That's why
right?
we have vacations.
Yeah. You know what though? Speaking of, and you are here for a purpose.
I am here for a
But I was
purpose.
telling this story to somebody. So you know how if you're picking a resort, you can pick any resort in the world. So or a hotel. So you're reading reviews, right? Which
Right.
is a blessing and a curse because sometimes you go down the rabbit hole of reading, all of the
All of
crazy
them,
stuff.
right?
Well, this resort that I chose was the only negative things that I really read. And I've never encountered this before.
Okay.
Was about wedding parties being entitled.
Oh, that's a definite rabbit hole.
So I read the reviews. I'm like, whatever,
Right.
So, but this resort was very lovely, and it definitely had an event space and a beautiful outdoor space to host weddings. So Jamie and I are, we'd been there for a couple of days, and it got to be the weekend. So we're sitting at the pool bar, and it was like one of those bars. It's like round, and there's maybe like I don't know, 10, 12 seats, something like that. But then there was like tons of tables around and
Right.
whatever. So this couple's sitting beside us, and I could tell that they were talking about their wedding, like they were there to get married and whatever. So they're like, "Tell me if you would take offense to this." So they're like, yeah, we have some friends joining us. Could you go ahead and just like move down a couple seats?
Exactly like that?
Just like that. And
Well, she'd meet the Crabtree side of me.
at that point, and Jamie's going, oh, it gets worse.
Uh-uh.
Jamie's going, just shut up. Just shut up. Like, just please, just move down. And I'm like, okay. So we move down, and another couple shows up. And the girl, the new couple. So now we've got 6 people sitting at a place where there was 2 bar stools. When we moved down, there was 4. So now she goes, yeah, we're joining them. I'm just going to go ahead and need you to move down a couple more seats. And Jamie's going, shut up. Just shut up. Just please. And I'm like,
No, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
it just blew
Not
me
gonna
away.
do it.
I was like, is that like,
That's entitlement.
I'm like, there are 50 tables around this bar. You've got like 6 people now. Go sit at a table.
Did you say that?
No. I was zen, and I didn't say a word. Other than my eyes.
I would not have said
My
nothing.
eyes, I'm sure, were very, like,
My eyes talk too.
yeah.
I have a. You can
It's hard.
read my face.
Yes.
Read my thoughts.
I can guarantee
my
you
body
they knew what I was
language will
thinking.
immediately tell you exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And sweetheart, I don't care if you're getting married.
Yeah, like, I
I'm
have an
sitting
idea.
right here.
We were here first, so you just can go ahead and shut up.
Regardless,
Yeah.
you know,
I don't know.
or
It was
I
just
would've moved-
bizarre.
I probably would have said, if you ask nicely, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'll think about it.
You put our drinks, our dinner on your tab. Of course, it's a resort, so it's all inclusive.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
No? Well,
No.
then you put our drinks and our dinner on your tab.
Yes.
I can still maybe.
It was a thing.
But you're going to have to lose the attitude before I give you anything you want.
So now I knew exactly. I encountered the entitled wedding party.
So did you Yelp that
thing? No, I did not. I said nothing but nice things about because that's not the resort's
itself.
fault,
Right?
That people act like douchebags.
Not. There's a percentage of their fault. They should disclaim we do not accept rude entitled wedding parties.
If you're getting married, you ain't special.
Yeah, just keep in mind that we have other guests that you will.
The good news is they were like in and out. Like it wasn't like they were there for a week kind of thing. Good. Like it was like they were there and then I didn't see them again.
How nice.
They got married and I didn't see them again. So it was fine. But whew.
Well, as long as you had a good time.
Anyway, it's neither here nor there.
That's
other
right.
than I was just like so.
Yeah, that
taken back. I was like.
I just have so much Crabtree blood.
I know. Yeah, you would have not. Yeah, you wouldn't have handled that.
And the older I get, the less I care about a filter.
Yeah.
You know.
I get it.
I just can't do it.
I get it.
I'm nice. And
I'm going to take you places with me.
Okay. I want to go to Key Largo with you.
Okay.
Let's talk about why I'm here, though.
Yes, let's talk about why you're here.
So today's
with your brick shirt on.
I know, right? Ooh. Today's guests, unfortunately, weren't able to attend our show.
Yeah.
Kimes Nursing and Rehabilitation in Athens. They have been part of that community for officially 60 years.
That is insane.
I know. It's family owned and operated for 60 years. The current executive director of the facility is the great niece to the original owner.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they're wonderful people. So they reached out to me probably 6 months ago now. Mm-hmm. It was that was one of my first clients.
Yeah.
When I hopped over to the total media sales side.
Yeah, right.
So the ladies there, there was a lady there that reached out, Julie, and we've become really, really good friends, along with business colleagues. So she was like, we're having the 60th celebration and our residents, and we listen to you. We love Pure Rock. Can you come and do our 60th celebration for us?
Oh my gosh, how fun.
Like,
number one, I love that they're listening to Pure Rock, right?
right.
At the nursing home.
Yeah, the 105.5 Pure Rock.
That is Athens.
Awesome. So after a few text messages, phone calls, emails, I went to meet them. Finally got to meet with, Laura. And I always want to say Rittenhouse, but I'm pretty sure it's Rittenhouse. So excuse me, Laura, if I said your name wrong, but Laura is a phenomenal human being. Yes. I have met a lot of people over the course of my many years of HR, but this woman is rock solid, cares so much about the facility, the employees, the residents, anybody that's coming and going through her facility.
That's probably why they've been there for 60 years.
I'm telling you, it's impressive.
Yeah.
You know, they have been able to do some remodeling over the years, so it's not the home from 60 years ago. Mm-hmm. It has upgraded, and they've got this really great rehabilitation side that's state of the art. They've got some phenomenal physicians, nurse practitioners.
So it's not Shady Pines?
No, it's like had I known about that place when we were looking at facilities for my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
It's close enough to home that she would probably be living there. It's just, you just feel like it's part of being at home.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the great people. Julie's also great. She also has a side gig that she and I work together on. But they're having their 60th celebration.
That is wild.
Big giant party on June 19th. It's going to be a classic car show. They're going to have raffles. Pure Rock's going to be there. We've got all kinds of giveaways. They have, we partnered with them to do what we're calling the Pure Rock Lucky Shot. It's a bingo type game where you're listening to the radio for songs that we play, and there'll be 5 winners in this game. So
love that.
Our listeners have been going out to pick up the bingo cards from Qdoba over in Athens, and listening to the radio and filling out their cards. And we've got some really great prizes for that game. And throughout the rest of the day, they've got all kinds of raffles that they're doing. So basically, they were going to come in and talk about how great their place is, and I'm telling you, it's great. But unfortunately, they're sick, and they didn't want to spread their germs and kind of quarantine themselves.
Total sense.
Because the 60th celebration is next week, they need to be on their game. So I am here filling in for them.
Love that.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the facility itself. What all do they do?
So they have short-term and long-term care.
Okay.
They have the rehabilitation portion of the facility. They have, oh my gosh. So when you walk, it's
so rehab is so important.
It
to
is.
have that aspect there in house and to be able to do that.
And most of their rooms for the rehabilitation, maybe all of their rooms, are private rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not in there with somebody else who had a knee replacement or a hip replacement, who had an accident, who needs rehabilitation in-house. You have your private room. It's large. There's place for a family member to stay if you need somebody to stay with you while you're there. They're family friendly. The occupational therapists that they have on staff, just great people. And they're focused on making sure you feel like you're at home during your recovery.
That is huge.
It's very huge.
Listen, everybody wants to be at home, but if it's the next best thing, then that's great.
And from experience, we've been to quite a few facilities where there's rehabilitation, in-house rehabilitation involved with, my mother-in-law and my mom. They both have had hip replacements and knee replacements, and all of the things that happen as we get older. But the other nice thing about not just the rehab center, but the entire facility is they have pre-planning available. So that maybe 10 or 15 years down the road that you're not going to burden your children. I know this sounds awful, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but
no, that
you don't
makes
want to
sense.
burden your children with having to live with their house and alter their lifestyle because you're not able to take care of yourself. They have the pre-planning opportunities for you there. You can meet with one of their social.
I've never heard of that. That's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Like and when you have all your faculties and
It's the
everything
time to
you
do
can.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very helpful.
That's awesome.
I've met some of the residents there. They're so great.
I'll bet.
So great. Lloyd is one. It was one of the first residents that I met there. I got a high five from him. They have indoor-outdoor sitting areas that are so pleasant and relaxing. If you've not been, so let me just tell you where they're at.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
So 75 Kimes Road. If you're coming off 32 from Jackson into Athens, where you split to go down to Richland Avenue, or you go up around onto, what is that? 32 to, like you're going to East State Street on the outside.
Where the roundabout is?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's before you even go into Athens. It's on the left side of the road. Blackburn Road, you turn left, and it's immediately right there. They set up on top of a hill.
Okay.
The view of...
Oh, I know where that is.
Okay. It's before you even go down under the overpass to go onto Richland Avenue.
Yeah.
It's on the left side up on the hill. It's secluded. It's peaceful. I just can't say enough nice things about it.
Sure.
It is a nursing facility. It is a rehabilitation facility. So, it's not the most pleasant place to even think about going to. But in reality, people have, at times, some people will have to spend some of their lifetime there.
Yeah.
And the quality of life that this facility has focused on, the residents are so happy there. The staff does a great job. Their turnover rate, this is because I'm HR, and I was asking their staffing needs and things like that.
You can't help yourself, can you?
I can't. I mean, for many reasons, but their turnover rate is very little.
Which is unheard of.
Unheard of in that field. it's so hard to find good employees to stick around for, your.
Because it's hard for a number of reasons.
It is hard for a number of reasons. You're getting attached to these residents who aren't going to be around much longer. And it's not an easy job to clean up messes and,
all the
it's just
stuff and things
physically
that you have to do,
and
yeah.
emotionally demanding.
Yes.
And their staff, they're just phenomenal. And I'm not saying that because they're paying me, because they are paying me, but not a lot. I don't want a lot. I just wanted them to have their day in the sun.
To be recognized,
because 60 years is a big deal. Big deal. 60
yes,
years.
it is.
So
Cool.
we have a couple things I want to talk about that's happening on the 19th, but I believe we're almost ready for a break.
Yep, have to take a break, and then we will be back and find out some of the fun stuff they're going to be doing. That's exciting.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more, in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
All right, and we are back with our good friend Tanya and talking about the 60th anniversary birthday celebration of Kimes
Nursing and Rehabilitation
That is
Center.
so cool.
Yeah. So Laura sent me an email last night with just a brief history. If you don't care if I read
Oh,
her
I
email.
love that. That's cool.
Because, like I said, she's a family. She's part of the family, and she has such a deep pride and passion for this place. So she writes, Kimes has been a vital part of the Athens community for decades. Originally built in 1965, the owner, Isla Faye Kimes, grew up taking care of people. Her mother took care of all their neighbors and friends while she was growing up as well. Kimes was the first and state-of-the-art nursing facility in the Athens area. 60 years later, still here, going strong, and ready to continue serving the community for many years to come. For those who have chosen Kimes during their time of need, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. For those of you yet to experience the Kimes difference, I invite you to give us a try, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Sincerely, Laura Rittenhouse.
So cool.
The other cool thing about the 19th of June during their celebration is they're going to be giving tours. So if you are in the future, near or far, considering a facility for later years living, stop by on the 19th, Thursday, between 2 and 4. We're going to be there to kind of encourage people to see more about the Kimes difference.
Yeah.
You'll know as soon as you walk in, you'll just feel it. You're immediately greeted by the front desk, where there's 2 to 3 people, or somebody in the office will come out. There's just constant connection while you're there.
That's great.
So during their celebration on the 19th, we're gonna have the Jambo there playing some classic rock music. We're going to have activities such as mini raffles, one being a Amish-made rocking chair and quilt. The raffle for the rocking chair is $10 a ticket. They also have a generator raffle that was donated. There are only 100 tickets available for the generator.
Oh, wow.
There's a QR code on the screen. You can scan that to grab your tickets. I'm thinking that they're pretty close to selling out. So if you're interested in that generator, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm reading through this pretty quickly. Chris's Trailer Shack in Albany donated this prize, and the value of it is, I believe, a little over $200, or maybe more than that. I can't tell. I don't have my glasses on.
Do you want me to hold it out here for you?
That's okay. The other things that we're doing, they're having a kids event. They're gonna have face painting, a kids raffle basket, cotton candy machine, a bubble machine.
Oh, fun.
All kinds of games. The car show is, like I had mentioned earlier, excuse me, it's titled Exploring Kimes Through the Decades. Nostalgic vehicles are going to be out for you to take a look at. They're also going to have local vendors, food trucks, coffee trucks, Uncle Dan's old-fashioned ice cream.
It's just going to be a party.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Rain or shine, and I think we're going to have iffy weather, but I think during the time that we're going to be there, it should be beautiful. So come in and join us. If you want to participate in the Lucky Shot game, there's still time to get your cards. You can run over to Athens on East State Street and grab your Lucky Shot card and listen to the radio show in the mornings from 6 to 10. Fill out your card. The first 5 that show up with valid winning cards will win prizes ranging from $50 to up to $250, I believe.
Sweet.
So yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff going on.
Who doesn't like to win stuff?
I know, it's crazy. So she did ask that I read a list of those that have donated.
Okay.
So for their prize packs that they have, the auction items and the raffle items, Rachel King donated a 60-minute massage.
Okay.
Dr. Tan, he's a podiatrist. He provided a monetary donation. Ohio University Credit Union donated the Mine Tavern in Nelsonville. Oasis Nails from the Plains. Chris Henning in Albany, Chris's Trailer Shack. Oh, that's who donated. That's a $700 generator.
Okay.
My apologies. I knew I saw it somewhere. Southern Ohio
Dang.
Sanitation Services, Josh Wandling, he is providing the Porta-John services for the party because we're hoping there will be plenty of people there to use the bathroom.
Yeah, right?
Fairfield Hotel and Suites, they have donated a one-night stay to raffle off. The Ohio Health Hospice, Generations Home Health in Coolville, Shriver's Hospice in Athens, Larry's Pizza in Coolville, the Elks in Athens, the Lindley Inn in the Plains, Via Quest, if I'm reading this right, they're the ones that donated the rocking chair. Alan Trout and Bethany from Bethany Ridge Winery in Guysville. Picky Grace's Boutique. Lacey J. Intuitive. She is a tarot card reader.
Fun.
She is fun. Wolf Mountain Family Pack. Advanced Auto and AutoZone in Athens. Shady on State. Or Shade on State in Athens. And Raphael's has also donated. So they had quite a few people in the community donate.
Which is saying something.
Yeah, like they've been around for so long, how could you not? So it's going to be a fun time. I hope that anybody who has nothing else to do, even if you're not looking for a nursing home or a rehabilitation facility in your future, come
Just
out
come
and
to the
enjoy.
party.
Yeah,
It'll be fun.
It'll be food, drinks, Lots of fun music. I'm
Tanya will
kind of
be
partial
there.
to the music side. I'll be there. The Pure Rock Morning Crew will be there. So just come out and join us.
And that's on June
2 to
19th.
5, June 19th.
2 to 5.
75 Kimes Road.
Okay. And
There it
Athens
is.
is a fun place to be.
It is. It is.
You know?
So, yeah, please do that.
Very good.
Awesome. What else we got going on today? Oh, I also have a job fair this afternoon I'm going to.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I'm going to, like I said, switch hats and run over to the Athens Community Center and help out with a job fair with the Department of Job and Family Services over there. So,
Well, that's really cool
looking for a
because
job within this
Yeah.
area, I'll have QR codes that you can scan and download the app and apply for construction jobs to radio sales to who knows. Like, it's ever growing and ever changing here. So, who
Of
knows?
course.
Just come see me anyway.
she just can't get out of the HR thing. You just can't.
It's embedded into my brain. I enjoy the people in the time, and I don't mind helping out while they're still in limbo. So
Right. No, there's there are jobs out there, and there are people that, for whatever reason, or you just need a change, or something has happened. So yeah, that's a great place to go. It's like a one-stop shop. A job fair. That's
so last
cool.
year when I attended this job fair at the community center in Athens, they had over 35 employers.
Wow.
It was quite large. There, when you first walk into the community center, they have their help desk, and behind them is their gymnasium.
Yeah.
And it was lined from wall to wall, aisle to aisle, and the people. People still need jobs.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, we're in a world today that in a society that struggles to make ends meet. So if
This
it's
is a great
part-time or
opportunity.
full-time, there's an opportunity here to find something that might fit you better than what you're currently doing, or if you've been without a job for a while, bring your resume in, bring your phone in to scan QR codes, because that's a lot of how it happens now.
I think a lot of people.
Or just stop in and say hi.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
never know. You may meet somebody that you're like, I want to work with this person, or whatever. So
Until they actually work with this person.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
No. So let's talk about the cycle search for a minute, because you said that there's a winner, and the cycle search has been done a little different this year.
Right. So for the
let's
last
talk
10
about
weeks.
that.
So Cycle Search for 30 years now?
Oh, like
it's been very
300
prominent.
years, I feel like.
Yeah. So it's always been a Jackson thing.
Yeah.
And since Total Media and the radio stations have expanded to all these different markets in the southern region, the decision was made to take the key and multiply it. So we have now 10 keys that we've hidden over the last 10 weeks.
Yes.
And key 10 was found this morning.
Oh, so they're all found.
All the keys are found.
So
So tomorrow, Friday the 13th,
Oh, is that?
yes,
Oh.
our title sponsor, Athens Sports Cycle, we're having a key party.
So all of those
All the
10
key holders
keys
show up. Yep, all the key holders show up, and they take their turns with their key to see if it's the winning key. So one person will walk
Love
away with
that.
that ATV, and the other 9 people will walk away with a prize that's valued at $500 or more. And we've got prizes, oh my gosh. So we've got a full camping package, which has the coolers, the tents, the fire pit, the
Okay, that's
Coleman
cool.
lanterns, fishing poles. Like, we've got a full camping package. We have a really, really cool DeWalt package to give away, and it's I want to say like an $860 value.
Oh my gosh.
DeWalt tool package. We have a gift basket that's called Visit Southern Ohio, and there are over $1,000 of gift cards to different places
Yeah.
in the different counties that have participated. So like $50 or higher in gift cards.
That's awesome.
There is.
So if you found a key, you're not walking away empty-handed.
You're not walking away empty-handed.
You might not have the grand prize, but you're going to have
But
something.
you're going to have something. We have.
Oh, that's cool.
We have 9 other very large prizes to give away. I believe there's a cash prize. I don't know. There's plenty out there. But today's key was found.
Okay. Where was it?
It was on Mound Street
Oh, like here in Jackson?
in Jackson.
How funny.
I know, right? So there is there's the senior citizens building there that used to be the
Mount Street
elementary
School. Yeah.
And next to that field is a baseball field and a little park and a shelter house. Well, when you go past the outfield and hit the woods, there's a fallen tree. And that fallen tree had the key packet hidden.
Very cool.
Right? So,
Right
yeah.
here in Jackson. Who is the key winner today?
Her name is Rochelle McNichols from Jackson. Her and her boyfriend David Booth and their children have been trying for 10 weeks to find the key.
I love it.
So
Finally
they have
got
been
one.
so close to every key, and she spent the last couple days wandering around Eddie Jones Park, and she couldn't find it, and she was telling us this morning on the air that she was like, I just had this
She's
feeling
on the
that I
right
just
track.
needed to go over to the little t-ball field. So she went over there and she looked around, couldn't find it. So she sat down on the park bench, just like the clue says to do. And she looks around and she sees the fallen tree, and she gets up, takes the walk, and it was there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
This is my first year participating in the cycle search, and I got to hide 3 of the keys. This was one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I got to hide key number 2. I think it was key 6 that I hid in this one, or key 8.
Fun.
I don't
Do you
know.
feel powerful? Like
I didn't-
I've
key
got
7.
I know where the key is.
Yeah, it's so fun to listen to people try to decipher the clues. So Porter every day is like, what's it mean, Homer and Stanley? And I'm like, well, Southern seat named after a president. I'm like, well, Andrew Jackson, the city of Jackson was named after the president. Homer Marshman and Stanley Arthur and John Powell, and I gave him famous people born in Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, who's Homer? Why is he so famous? Well, he was the original owner of the Cleveland Browns, born in Jackson, Ohio.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If you would have done your research, like what you're supposed to do with these clues to figure out where you're going, you'd have known that.
See, and you learned something along the way, too.
That's right. That's right.
So somebody is going to win. What is the grand prize again?
A side-by-side.
Oh, it's a
ATV.
side-by-side.
I don't know the name of it because I'm not into the side-by-sides.
Nice.
I like the cash. And
Well,
the
here's what I
weekend
can tell
getaways
you.
and-
Those things are expensive.
Yes,
so
they are.
if you
I
win
can
one,
tell you
you're...
it's a $14,000 or $16,000 value.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Yep.
That
Provided
is
to
really
Total
neat.
Media and the radio stations through Athens Sports Cycle on Columbus Street in Athens.
Yeah.
Columbus Road in Athens.
So give them a shout out if you're thinking about
Last year,
doing
with
that.
the egg hunt, they donated one of those new electric bikes as a giveaway. I mean, they have everything. So, yeah, go over and hang out with their crew of people.
You're gonna. I mean, the things that they have in that store will blow your mind.
It will.
Yeah, it's wild. So, all right.
Yeah, so now we are down to the party tomorrow at 5. Everybody is welcome. The community can come and watch this process.
And it's at the Athens Sports Cycles.
Yes,
Okay.
1050 Columbus Road.
Just Google it.
Maybe. Anyway, 645 Columbus Road. I don't remember. I know it's Columbus Road in Athens. It's right off 33. 165 Columbus Road. We'll be there right around 4 o'clock to start getting things set up. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have Larry's Doghouse there grilling hot dogs for us.
Oh, heck yeah. Gotta
there's
love
gonna
Larry's.
be food and drinks and music and fun and games, and it'll be fun seeing these 10 winners who've
They've worked. I mean, it's work to find these keys. So
it is.
it's a big
lot of fun.
thing.
Yeah, we did. So they were hidden in Athens County, Ross County, Lawrence County, Jackson County, Meigs County. I think there were 2 in Athens County, maybe 3 in Athens County, Hocking County.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all around.
Yeah. Our listening area is very large. So I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know that
I like this way of doing it,
Yeah.
where it's
a different winner each
Yeah.
week, giving everybody the opportunity
sure.
to visit the different areas as well.
Absolutely.
So, Gallia County was one, so I had one in Gallia County as well.
Cool.
Lawrence County, Gallia County, and Jackson County is where I got to hide. It was a lot of fun, and then coming up with those clues is you really tap into your creativity there.
Oh yeah,
yeah, so.
for sure.
All right. Well, I saw Pete come in, so does that mean I get to go?
Yes, you may be dismissed at this moment.
Thank you.
So, well, I'll tell you what, we do have another message, I think Adrian says, and then we will be back with our friend Pete. And thank you for hanging
Thanks,
with us
Jen. I
this
appreciate
morning.
it.
Of
Thank
course,
you.
we'll be right back.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
All right, and we are back with our good friend Pete Wilson, who does not have bricks on his shirt.
No, I don't.
Tanya had bricks on her shirt.
Okay. Well, she's promoting. That's what she's supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's going on? Major news. I was
well, and you slipped out. I can't believe
and
you slipped out yesterday. And
I know, crazy stuff.
well, hey, in the news business, you never know. You just gotta react. And
Holy moly!
And we ended up covering Jennifer. I guess if you go on electronic response via social media to our initial reporting, I'm not sure I've ever covered a story that has got that kind of response in the electronic age, which goes back to into 2007 or whatever. Whenever we got our website.
Well, I was in Columbus, and it was on the news there.
It was on the news beyond the borders of Ohio.
What is going on?
We'll get into that.
This is what happens when I leave for a day.
But
Pete.
when I was here yesterday, I was just able to announce that they had ordered some evacuations. Didn't exactly know all what was going on, other than that there was some kind of chemical release or leak at the Red Diamond plant that Austin Powder operates there, south of Zaleski in Vinton County. But of course, that will be what we talk about mainly on this news blip. But it happened yesterday about 7:15 a.m. The actual release. But what happened was, and we didn't know what the chemical was until it was identified afternoon. There was some speculation of what it was, but it turned out to be nitric oxide. That is a gas that went into the air. That was the orange plume. And
I mean, it was very visible.
Right. That was that was not even that close to the plant, that particular picture, but you can see it's kind of an ominous looking sight when you see that, and you know that it's coming from a chemical plant. There's a little bit of a closer up look, a chemical plant that deals with explosives.
Yes.
So, pretty scary situation.
Whoa.
But what happened was, this came out later, so we'll get to that part now because a lot of people just want to know, what it was that happened, what was released into the air. There's a $5,000 gallon tank within the plant that has nitric acid in it, which is dangerous stuff.
Okay.
No nitric acid, according to the high EPA in the plant, actually got out of that tank. However, EPA has determined that a contaminant of some sort got into the tank, and that prompted the release of the nitric oxide into the air. All right? And so this was considered potentially dangerous. You can, look that up. However, bottom line, in spite of, all the concern, the evacuations, There was no reports of anybody who got sick, no reports of any injuries, no reports of any health impacts immediate at least that were noticed. And of course, you had employees in the plant at the time.
Sure.
They were evacuated. Shortly after that, they evacuated everybody within a 3-mile radius of the plant. So, it's not a highly populated area, but there are rural roads around there. The village of Zaleski, just a little bit farther up the road, at first they had a shelter in place for Zaleski, but then they said, you got to get out too. Mm-hmm. So, you had really a lot of emergency activity. They brought school buses in to the Catholic Church there in Zaleski to bring people out of the village if they didn't have a way out.
Okay.
So you can imagine if you live in that area, you have a lot of, concern.
Oh, for sure.
And you know what? I think that in retrospect, the response, not only from the health officials and the public safety officials, which was outstanding, but from the media, especially from the outside media, who have to pick and choose the big stories that they cover. And, Vinton County is not exactly in their backyard.
No.
There was about 7 outside television media that ended up at the Vinton County Fairgrounds for a press conference. You couldn't even, of course, get near the site.
Oh, yeah.
But television stations from Cincinnati, Columbus, West Virginia. On our electronic media, Jennifer, we've had, and this count I'm sure is higher than this now, the initial post that we had, and we had posts throughout the day, but the initial post that we had, as of late last night or early this morning, had 459,000 views.
Holy moly.
Okay, you know how many people we have around here in our local area?
Not that many.
And our shares were over 3,000.
Whoa.
So that was the interest that this
Wow.
sparked. And here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that it was, I won't use the word miracle, but maybe we were very lucky that there were no injuries or sicknesses or
Sure.
or health impacts or anything, contaminants or pollutants that got into the air or the water, not the air, but the water or the ground or whatever that people could identify quickly. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking that what happened in East Palestine prompted maybe a response,
Probably.
because that was bad, and that turned out to be a lot worse than what it appeared at the time.
Absolutely.
When that train derailed and
Yep.
there was that chemical leak and exposure. But the bottom line is that as we said, no health impacts. It was determined, that a contaminant got into that tank, and that prompted the release of the nitrogen oxide into the air. They had the evacuation, though. It stayed in order until about 4:34, I think, was the time that was lifted, and it was not coincidental. This was after they determined a few minutes before at the plant that the release there was under control, the gas within the plant.
Sure.
As long as there was that, there was the possibility that there would be more going into the air, apparently. Another factor was the weather. It was not windy. It was clear and everything, but it did not dissipate as quickly as it might have if it were windy. It was not windy. So, but anyway, you could see the plume from several miles away. A good part of the people in that area had to evacuate, so that was scary. But it was the way it was. It turned out not to be a horrible thing after all, but I guess it could have been. It was certainly a scary thing at the time because you're dealing with the unknown.
Sure.
You're dealing with the unknown, and for half of the time before some certain details got out, you didn't know what you were dealing with. And people who had relatives work at the plant or whatever, for a while they didn't know they didn't know about their family members who were maybe workers at the plant or whatever. But anyway, on our media side, we actually did interviews with some outside television who didn't know things that we knew. So we got to be on television on a couple of those stations.
The news people interviewing the news people,
right,
huh?
That's exactly right.
How fun.
But later in the day, Jeremiah Shaver, who did a great job, especially on the back end, this was a day where he was supposed to work from home because of childcare, but he was able to make arrangements. While I stayed here at the station, he was able to make arrangements to go to the fairgrounds where they did the press conference to get more information and get it to us quicker.
Yeah.
And also, he did some interviews at the high school or whatever, and he ended up writing our final story that's online now. I want to commend him for his work. And that story, by the way, we are making free available to everybody. We actually both of us worked late last night to get that online. It's on Facebook too, and it will be in the paper with some still photos that we have that maybe weren't online. But he also produced a video, which I don't know whether you do that or not, but we're not talking about a live stream. We're talking about a video where you put pieces together with narration. He did a video late last night, and we're going to play it right now, if you would, Mr. Austin.
Vinton County High School, a place of education, became a place of refuge for at least one Vinton County resident after an evacuation was ordered Wednesday morning, June 11th.
Then the phone went to ringing. It was from a friend of mine in Athens County. She called to let me know that we were to hold in place order. Then about 10, 15 minutes later, she calls and tells me we're to evacuate. And then it ain't about 2 or 3 minutes until they're going around town with the speaker telling everybody to evacuate.
Susan, along with other area residents, had to evacuate for safety reasons because of this orange-colored plume of gas in the sky above Austin Powder's Red Diamond plant near Zaleski. The plant experienced a sudden and unexpected release of nitrogen oxide into the atmosphere at approximately 7:15 a.m.
They're about 50 years, and I've never, ever had anything like this happen. Yes, it was scary.
Jackson County Emergency Management Agency Director Rob Chekleski, who was acting as public information officer on behalf of the Vinton County EMA, along with Brad Price, who is an environmental health director with the Vinton County Health Department, held a press conference inside the Fern Kruger exhibit building at the Vinton County Fairgrounds. This allowed for more details on the developing situation to be reported to the public. Further details were released later through email.
There was a chemical release out of a 5,000-gallon nitric acid tank. There was an evacuation of 3-mile radius initially around the plant, and then they eventually evacuated the village of Zaleski, which has approximately 750 residents. The Vinton County EMA utilized their HyperReach mass notification system, along with there was radio announcements and television announcements. The Red Cross opened up a shelter at the Vinton County High School in MacArthur, which is off of 50, just to the west of the village of MacArthur. The Federal Aviation Administration implemented a temporary flight restriction of a radius of 30 nautical miles with a 23,000-foot ceiling around the area at 10:25 this morning. So we didn't want any drone or helicopter traffic. Hazardous materials teams from neighboring counties assisted. The 2 hazardous materials teams is the Wellston Fire Department hazmat team, which is made up of hazmat technicians and operators out of Jackson and Vinton and other counties. And we also had the Ross County hazmat team, which is made up of firefighters from Chillicothe Fire Department and the VA Fire Department. There were multiple road closures in the area, and the Ohio Department of Transportation helped with that. The Vinton County Emergency Operations Center and Joint Information Center were opened in response to this, which is down at the Sheriff's Office right down the road. One other thing here. And I already mentioned to you that the chemical was nitric oxide that was in the plume. I'm going to turn it over to the Health Department to tell you the effects of nitric oxide.
Just briefly on the symptoms, we had some changing information, but for nitric oxide, you're looking at symptoms that range from irritation of eyes, skin, nose, and throat, to drowsiness and maybe some unconsciousness. That's for acute exposure. There's not going to be anything that we know on long term with the recentness of all of this. What we would recommend, if you feel that you've been exposed, clean yourself, irrigate eyes, fresh water, those kind of things. If you feel any lingering effects past that, contact your primary care physician or get to urgent care or emergency room for treatment.
The situation came to an end on late Wednesday afternoon. The evacuation orders were lifted by 4:34 p.m. Austin Powder had confirmed that the nitrogen oxide emissions had ceased. At that time, residents were given the all clear and allowed to return home. The Ohio EPA reported that an unknown contaminant entered the 5,000-gallon process tank containing the nitric acid at the plant. This caused a chemical reaction that created nitrogen oxide gas, which was vented into the atmosphere. There were no recorded injuries and no adverse health impacts identified to date after the incident. Austin Power reported that all precautions are being taken to mitigate any future risk as the health and safety of employees and the surrounding community remain a top priority. The Ohio EPA will be testing nearby streams for pH levels. At this time, there is no reason to believe that drinking or groundwater has been impacted. And air quality models show that preliminary nitrogen oxide concentrate levels at the plant's fence line were below health hazard thresholds.
Well, thank you, Jeremiah, for doing that. That was
Right. Well, I think he encapsulated it
extensive.
very good there in that about approximate 5-minute video. But right at the end, of course, he said, "I know it's a natural question. Well, what about impacts that might not be apparent at the time?"
Right.
They did do. There was no leak of liquid or anything physical from that tank. So it was just
It was a gas.
It was just the gas, the smoke that went into the air. They did testing right at the fence line there at the plant, and the levels were below what they call health hazard levels.
Okay.
So they don't believe that there was any there, and so ergo, you would say there wasn't any outside the plant if there wasn't right there on
Right,
the fence
because it was
line.
obviously concentrated there.
But they were able to say that much yesterday. But I'm sure there'll be with the EPA's involvement, there'll certainly be ongoing testing to make sure and follow up to see if there might be any
well, yeah.
adverse impacts. And
And
we
I-
don't want to borrow trouble and say that there might be, but it's hard to know.
But do we know?
It's hard to
Yeah.
know. Some things may not be apparent at the time. So,
Right. Like you and I were talking off the air, what about animals that are, in that vicinity, or gardens that are in that vicinity, or, water that's in wells, or, is there an issue with that? So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Right. We will just have to wait and see.
As of now, haven't heard anything about that.
No,
So.
as of now, it appears that for what seemed to be a very dangerous and potentially dangerous situation, at least, that we really got off pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think it looked like, honestly, that the emergency response team, media, all responded the way they should to get the word out and to keep people safe in the area. If anything, you always want to overreact, not underreact.
When
you have a
it comes
potentially
to that, yeah, absolutely.
When you have a potentially dangerous situation, and I was glad to see that when they did the evacuation order, they followed up to make sure people left. I guess it's akin to Florida when there's a hurricane, and people should leave, and some of them don't want to for whatever reason, or maybe it's hard for them to leave, and difficult situation on whether
Sure.
you need to make somebody leave after you tell them that they need to.
Yep.
Or you order them to. But Zaleski, at least, it looked like they were going around making sure that they had the opportunity to, even providing transportation.
Which is, that's great.
So,
Amazing.
all those folks, on a much smaller scale, and certainly no death, not even injuries. This was our 9/11 almost.
Like,
So
it could have
why I say that was you need to tip your hat to all the emergency response people, whether it's plant personnel that's on the safety side, whether it's fire departments, law enforcement, EMA, health department, from Columbus EPA. I mean, this was a scary, tough, long day yesterday.
Sure it was. Absolutely.
But anyway, we will certainly be following up to see what else might be said on this.
Okay.
And we certainly invite, the public has been very good about some of the best information we got, unofficial. We couldn't use a lot of it, came from people that were in the area, the residents.
Okay.
You know, we got a couple photos that we could use, got permission to use, and sometimes if you know something, that helps because then you can verify it as opposed to you can't ask a question if you don't know what it is you're asking about at all. So we always appreciate all the tips that we can get.
Yep.
All right, okay, some other things to report. We think that the Oak Hill Margaret Ann Pool is opening today, belatedly, you know.
Fun.
They shoot through Memorial Day. It was a pending situation. We have not heard from them that they are not going to open because there was one last inspection they had to pass, but it should be opening at noon today.
Very good.
All right, also, we want to tip our hat to a local resident who has a very tough job. And when he got this was one where you can say he earned it. Keith Denny, who in his professional life is the plant manager over at the Osco plant in Jackson. There's Keith. The reason he's all dressed up in a white jacket and tuxedo is he's a very important figure now with the Elks. He is the president of the Ohio Elks Association.
That is awesome.
That is, you're talking about 36,000 Elks members in the state. You're talking about 73 lodges all over the state, almost one in every county. And he is the president. He is the top elk, all right? And so he obviously is going to be traveling a lot.
Sure.
He's actually gone through the chairs, I guess you could say. He had other state offices that led to this. I think he will be in charge all the way until next spring.
Okay.
He actually took over late in April.
Congratulations,
and, so we want to
Keith.
congratulate him. We put his picture and story on the front page because he's a very, very special person. And here on Main Street TV, we wanted to acknowledge him.
Absolutely.
The Elks Lodge, you know, you say fraternal organization, social, man, they do so much more than that.
They do.
I mean, I
Do
know
a lot of good.
most of the Elks Lodges are that way, but this one here in Jackson, so service-oriented. You know, they do grants to important service things in the communities. They're really big about supporting veterans and the youth.
Yeah.
And they, you know, they do donations to cover other local needs as well. They do their own scholarship. It's just a great organization. And they are a growing organization here in Jackson. It seems like they add 10 members every month or whatever. So a lot of people want to get involved and support that.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Keith Denny. Also, some other things to tell you about Jennifer. We want to mention some kids from Jackson High School and also Jackson Elementary Schools who got honored at the last school board meeting.
Okay.
Hey, you know, when people
Kids do good, we want to
special
talk
things,
about it.
we want to because they're role models for other kids.
Sure.
But at the last school board meeting, they honored some high achievers who entered essay contests and also the esports chess team. All right. But Adrian, if you're ready with those pictures, go ahead and put one up and I'll respond. That is Emma Malone. Now, she just finished a school year as the student representative. That is a great honor. They've been doing it, the board at the Jackson City Board of Education has been doing this for several years now. They pick a senior to be before the school year starts, and that person is the student representative. That is a liaison between the student body and the Board of Education. So the Board of Education has an idea what's important to students. They go to all the school board meetings the student representative does, and Emma, who was a valedictorian of the class of 2025, was that student representative.
Very cool.
All right, also, Adrian, if you have the BPA people, all right, these would be the BPA people who were honored during a meeting in May. These BPA folks received recognition for winning awards at the national level. So you can't do much better than that. These folks are, if you look at the picture from left to right, are Kennedy Willis, Carson Orton, Sidney Carpenter, Braylon Brennan, Lillian Mapes, and the BPA advisor, Adam Rippeth, and on the end, that is school board member Pat McDonald. So congratulations to them. And then the esports team, if you can put that up, Adrian, there they are. The esports team well, here's what they did. The middle school esports team, not the high school esports team, they won the state championship at the middle school level. Once again,
Dang.
we got to give them credit. And if you are looking at the picture there, we'll identify those folks from left to right. You have school board member Kim White, and then you have team members Izzy Wright, Liam Wisecup, Jude Barker, and then Jackson Middle School Principal Tara Richards is there on the end. So congratulations to them. And then also, speaking of the Elks, the essay contest winners. They do an essay every year, usually on a patriotic national theme.
Okay.
And these are the kids who did very well at the local and district level. And Kim Harless, the board member who you can see on the left there, does so much work organizing that with the schools. Jackson always does very well at the district level and even the state level when they move up in competition. But those folks, that's Kim Harless there on the left. Then you have essay writer Ederle Arms, Southview principal Heather Michael, and then you have essay winners Spencer Osborne, Abigail Holdren, Jackson Middle School principal Tara Richards again, and then essayist Carter Chavez, and school board representative Emma Malone there on the right. So congratulations to all them. We also want to tell you, Jennifer, that we got this news from Jackson County engineer Melissa Miller. A section of Mariah Road, which is a very well-used county road there in southeastern Jackson County. Section of Mariah Road opened late yesterday afternoon. She wants to let people know that you can get through there now. It is the section of Mariah Road between U.S. Route 35 and Cooper Hollow Road. That section had been closed for a culvert replacement project.
Okay.
When they do that major construction by and under the road, you just have to close the whole road, unfortunately.
Sure.
So that section of the road is open again. She also wanted to announce that on another end of Mariah Road, between Cherry Fork Road and Joe Evans Road, that section of Mariah Road will have to be closed because of damages in the flood of February the 16th.
Sure.
There's always a flooding problem along parts of Mariah Road.
Mariah Road floods like crazy.
And this time it caused some road damage they considered permanent, and they're going to have to close that section of the road to do a fix. And that will start on Monday.
Okay.
So there we are.
And just a side note, because I saw it driving in, if you're headed State Route 35, like toward Gallipolis, it's kind of down to one lane, and I don't know, there's trucks and workers out there's like a million pickup trucks on the road. I don't know what they're doing, but it's down to one lane. So just be careful. Please don't hit any workers.
Near the 93. It started up way up high up near me.
Oh, it did? Okay. So it's like
right. I've not got any
way out.
advisories about construction work or even a wreck that may have impacted the road.
They're doing work. I don't know. And there's like a million pickup trucks, and they were all going the wrong way on the wrong side of the road. And then traffic was going this way. I don't know. It was just slow down because it was weird.
That's another reason to do our commercial for distracted driving.
Yes.
Because you can see it out there that there's one lane or that it's slower, but if you're not paying attention, you're got that phone in front of you. That's a bad thing to do. Wait, don't do that. And also fiddling with the controls sometimes.
Absolutely. Changing your radio. And there were many guys out there standing right there, doing work. I don't know what they were doing, but
that's the big thing. You have workers right there along the highway, let alone maybe you hitting something other than a person.
Correct.
Really potentially dangerous. And once that happens, you can't do a redo.
No, you
when
cannot.
You do something like that, not paying attention.
All right. Well, thank you, Pete. We appreciate that and your story. And thanks to Jeremiah for working also so hard on this Austin Powder story, because it could have been really wild. to say the least.
It could have been. It could have been. It was something.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will be back here tomorrow on your Friday the 13th.
Did you say that? I didn't even know that was coming.
I didn't know either until Tanya told me. So
Okay, you'll probably have the black cats parading across here tomorrow, won't you?
I don't know.
I've had black cats. I've been the father of many black cats,
many black cats.
and nothing happened to me. I'm
Okay.
still here.
Just that's some superstition anyway. But we'll be back tomorrow on Friday. So have a great day, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.